Beast is no more.
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
You look good. Calm. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
Thought I'd never see you again.
Well, I've departed, escaped, been forced to flee so many times. Yet, I always returned. You ought to be used to it by now. I like coming back into your life.
I'm just glad you're here.
The house is lovely. It just needs some work.
Yeah, plan to do a lot. Want to go outside, maybe? Could show you the grounds.
Ah, it's lovely here. I could stay forever.
Anything stopping you?
Obligations, duties. I'm only here because Emir concluded I must get to know what I'll rule once I take the throne. So I'm on a tour of the provinces with a small swarm of advisors. Which essentially means they take turns lecturing me while I follow them about, scribbling notes.
Plan to stay in Beauclair a while?
A bit. I convinced my advisors we'd be unwise to depart before I tasted each of this year's wines. My knowledge would be incomplete, you see. Though, actually, just between you and me, I'm not certain I'm cut out to rule, govern, all that.
Thinking you might give it up?
I can't say just yet, but I'm not willing to rule it out.
How fares your venerable father?
He seems younger, quite rejuvenated. Abandoning high-level politics seems to have done it. It's as if the very awareness of peace grants him strength, which most likely is the case.
Think he'll keep his word?
I think that depends on me. If he feels I'm up to the task, he'll head out to pasture. Yes.
And if he doesn't?
Then there'll be nothing to stop him from returning. He hasn't ever had a problem changing his mind.
Preparations for the coronation coming along?
Not at all. I told him I'm in no hurry. I must see what the whole thing's about first. Acquaint myself with the Empire's institutions, laws, and so forth.
No pressure from Emir to speed things along?
He tried. But I told him I wished to be a good ruler, a strong ruler, not some puppet.
No one else in the world he'd give in to like that.
I had nothing to do with that. There's just no one else in the world who's his daughter. Speaking of which, as the future Empress, I could secure you a comfortable position as court witcher.
Thanks, but just not my thing, that. My place is on the path.
I know. Still, had to try.
See you later, Ciri.
Take care of yourself.
What's that smell?
You look good. Come. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
What did you bring?
A Garkin from Angren. I slew it. All by my lonesome.
That why you left Carrera so suddenly? Had no idea where you'd gone. Your note was puzzling. Don't try to find me. Threw me for a loop.
That was silly. It's just that I felt stifled in your shadow. I'd have suffocated had I stayed. So when I read that notice, the contract, when I saw Angren, I knew I had to do it. Alone. Without my nanny.
I'm not your nanny. I believe in you. Like my new house?
The house is lovely, but it could use a bit of work.
Yeah, got plans for it, don't worry. Wanna go outside? Could show you the grounds.
Ah, it's lovely here. I could stay forever.
What's stopping you?
Actually, not a thing. I slew a Garkin, collected my bounty. I believe I'm owed some respite.
Indeed you do, mademoiselle. As my major domo would say.
You've a butler?
A steward. Name's Barnabas Basil. BB for short, though I don't know if he likes it. He's the one let you in. I'll ask him to bring in some fruit, a beverage. You can spend the rest of the day lying about.
Ah, nothing would make me happier.
Being a witcher anything like you imagined?
Geralt, I didn't have to imagine anything. Remember, before we parted, we walked a good stretch of the path together.
Journeyman and master, though, not the same thing.
I'm still a long way from mastering anything, but I am trying. Anyway, I did learn from the best.
Just passed on what worked for me. Or at least tried to.
I was thinking of Eskel and Lambert.
So, no regrets? Choice you made?
Not at all. I'm doing what I ever wanted to do. Being who I wanted to be. I believe that's one definition of happiness.
Encountered the most charming aspect of being a witcher yet?
Which aspect is that?
The hatred, disgust, that strange blend of admiration, fear, and contempt.
They set their hounds on me in one village. In another, they forbade me from taking a drink from their well. Other than that, it's been all right. No one's tried to cheat me out of my reward so far.
I'd hoped they'd treat a woman differently.
Geralt, when they treat a woman differently in this world, it hardly ever means better. Quite the opposite.
Angren, how'd it go? Garcanes can be pretty tough opponents.
That's why I had to lure this one to a place both spacious and empty, where it would have nowhere to hide. I found an abandoned crypt far from any town or village.
Good choice. Always best to avoid additional casualties, so your foe had nowhere to hide. But the bastard was still damn quick, I bet.
Not as quick as I am. My greater worry was its strength. I was far outclassed there. But a dose of black blood did the trick. We fought a while, I feigned a mistimed dodge and let it drink. The rest was easy.
See you later, Ciri.
Take care of yourself.